Hi, and welcome along to the All Guns Blazing podcast. My man DT in the building. How you doing?
Good.
Have you been behaving yourself this week? I already know the answer. No. Bloody hell, man. What's the matter with you, man?
People wind me up.
You say that every week. Every week, it's people winding you up.
Stating facts, mate. Stating facts.
Even arguing with Claude.
Listen,
what's Claude done here?
Listen, we've had this discussion, right?
No, come on. You can't be arguing with...
No. Let me
the
explain.
Godfather?
Let me
you can't
explain.
be arguing with the Godfather,
Let me explain something. It's like, I had my disagreement with Troops, right? Everyone knows that 90%...
That's another one?
Listen, everyone knows that 90% of that was banter. But was I justified? Yes, I was. You know I was.
Get me involved in your...
You know I was, right?
I'm not involved in your arguments.
And that was it, yeah? The arguments I've had with Mo, I never started that. I just finished it. The arguments I had with Heavy D, I never started it. I just finished it. And the argument with Claude, well, that was just stupid because he made a comment about my comments on ArsenalFanTV last week, which was about the protests. I said very clearly, I've got no problem with the protests. Yeah, I'll support the protests like I did last year.
Said the protest was idiotic.
Yeah, it was because of the timing.
So that means people taking part in that protest might perceive that you're calling them idiots.
They were, because it was stupid. It was stupid. That's why...
That's a bit harsh, though, to call them idiots.
No, because that's why less than 20 people turned up, Robbie. Because nobody...
I heard it was about 50 people.
No, there was nowhere near 50 people.
I don't know. You know what?
There.
We were looking to try and get there and report it. And,
well, the likes of James Ollie and people like that were there, and they were filming it.
Yeah, the weather, because of the weather and everything... the rain and we got caught in a load of traffic. We got there late. But I heard, I was chatting to a guy inside the ground. He said to me, he estimated there's about 50 people.
No chance. I have more people turn up to my barbecues. There was nobody there, right? And that's why they never planned. That's why. But
can't you see why they'd be upset? Because last year you was there right at the front of it with banners and stuff like that. Now you're calling them an idiot. That's why they're getting upset.
Timing. Because what they've done is they've set us 10 steps back. That's what they've done, because people that are looking from the outside in at it are going, you've just had the window you've just had. You've got yourself out of the Alexis Sanchez situation. You've brought in one of the best strikers in the country, in Aubameyang. You brought Mkhitaryan. And then you've just signed Mesut Ozil to a new contract. And you're protesting. Other fans are looking at that and going, what? You know.
But they'll look at it, they'll say... Because I spoke to, there's a guy who sits in the North Bank. I don't know his name, but a nice friendly guy. And he went on the protest, right? And he was very upset that not more people went on the protest. And to be honest, I kind of put it to him the same sort of thing like what you said. I'm like, listen, it's a feel-good factor around the place at the moment. Yeah. You know what I mean? People are happy at the new signings and stuff like that. And happy that, can see progress. You know what I mean? Gazidis came out, said catalyst for change. And in this window, out of a very, very bad situation with, Alexis and Ozil, we come out of it, I think, in a better shape.
Yeah.
So I'm saying to him, that's why people are like, no, this is like what you said, it's not the right time to protest. But he was saying to me, yeah, but then there's other deeper problems, deep-lying problems in the club, with investment and stuff like that. And
we all know that.
Right, so he goes, so when is the best time to protest? He goes, you still got to stand up for what you believe in. And that was what he was saying, So to then be labelling them idiots, that's a bit harsh.
I said the protest was idiotic, right? Because that's what it was, because it's about timing. And what they've done is people that might have been sitting on the fence and thinking, shall I go and protest this year? The ones that want Wenger out, don't want to be disrespectful to him and go on the protest and stuff like that. And they've now edged right on to actually joining in.
Wenger in.
You've now stepped them back. Shut up, Robbie. Don't be silly. People cannot question what I've done, okay? Where were these people when I was holding up banners that...
You're on the fence now, don't you?
No offence at all.
But you didn't go...
I want Wenger out. It's about timing. I make myself look like an idiot. I turned around and said, quite simply, right, I look at facts. I look at the big picture. I know what the problems are, okay? But I know that by protesting before that game against Everton, you are going to get no support. even from the people that want Wenger out, because they're like, wrong time. It's just the wrong time. And what you've done is because no one turns up, you give the perception that everyone wants Wenger to stay now because nobody turned up because they want him out. When that is not the reality. There's a lot of people that still want him out, want change, but they just would not go. There was a lot of people that
25 people out of 60,000.
But this is what I mean. There was people. Poor, there was people at the protest last year that were on the front as well with me and everything else that were hardcore Wenger out. They didn't go to the protests either because they felt it was the wrong time. I looked at the bigger picture and I turned around and went, right, let's look at what we did in the January transfer window. Can I see something different from other years? Yes, I can. Mislintat, Fahy, and Gazidis and that are over in Germany getting the Aubameyang deal done, right? People that are close to Arsenal and are mouthpieces of Arsenal, like David Ornstein, have actually turned around and said Wenger's losing his grip. Arsenal are building for the future, whether he's here or not, right? So I look at him and think, what would protesting before Everton achieve? What would it actually achieve? Nothing. I look at the month of February coming up. We got Spurs, right? There's another thing. It's a week before we play Spurs, right? Up here. Stop. Don't think about what's coming up. When you had the conversation with me a few years ago about why didn't I take the banner to Tottenham and I took it the week later to Hull. And I said, because I'm not giving Spurs fans the satisfaction of seeing us protesting and having disharmony within the club. Tottenham's about playing Tottenham. Don't give them any more ammunition. We got Man City in a cup final, right? And we got the 2 legs in the Europa League, right? Let's see how we sit at the end of February, all right? If we lose to Spurs and we lose the cup final and we've got Mkhitaryan in and we've got Aubameyang in, you've made your case a lot stronger because Arsene Wenger is continually proving that even with these new signings, he's not getting the best out of the team.
Do you salute Gazidis?
Big time for
the business, and because ultimately he's the guy. You can say Mislintat and people like that, but he's the guy who's overseen this. He's the guy who's got these people in, right? And out of a window where we were looking at the start of the January window, it was all doom and gloom. Alexis Sanchez going for sure. Just didn't know where, but he's going. To City, we all thought. Mesut Ozil, no sign of him signing a new deal. Jack Wilshere, no sign of him signing it. Just beer, And
I've heard as well that the Jack Wilshere thing's pretty much near enough done.
Yeah, so there's pure bad vibes around the place.
If I would have said to you at the start of January, Robbie, Alexis is going to go to Man United, your face would have straight away gone, oh my God, and I'd have gone, but we're going to get Mkhitaryan, Aubameyang, and Ozil's going to sign a new contract.
No, I think that Ivan Gazidis deserves a massive pat on the back for the business that he's done. Listen, he's still early. We don't know how these players are going to do, but certainly, even talking to other fans, even interviewing Tottenham fans over the past couple of days,
they're gutted about Aubameyang.
They're jealous. They're like, that's a great signing. Speaking last week when we was doing the UFF stuff. On deadline day, speaking to the guys from the Football Banter show, the Liverpool guys on there, they're gutted that Liverpool didn't go for him. They're like, looking at Chelsea fans, they're like, how the hell have we got Giroud and Arsenal have got Aubameyang? What's going on? It's just all round. And then even the players that they've moved out, I think it's been quite...
that we've been crying out for to get rid of.
Yeah, it's been quite a sensible, Theo Walcott, he got a great reception when he came back last week, but he needed to move on. They've moved him on. Coquelin, they moved a lot of players out. You can see... What I kind of like about it is that you can see a positioning for the future. Even the fact that we all know we need a defender, but it kind of seemed to me like they couldn't get the defender that they want. So they've just said, listen, the season's going to finish in 3 months' time. It's a World Cup year. There'll be loads of players out there. Let's wait and make a sensible decision on the defender.
Do you know what as well? Touching on the defensive thing, it highlights the old Arsenal to what we feel might be happening now. Because I don't know if you know this, but while Mislintat and Gazidis and that were all in Germany dealing with Aubameyang, Dick Law was dealing with signing us a defender. Them guys have gone to Germany and dealt with the Aubameyang thing. Dick Law stayed in this country and hasn't even got us a fucking defender. And it just highlights just how poor he was as the negotiator. This is the same guy that when we got the Mesut Ozil deal, forgot to fucking book him a plane over here and nearly lost us the contract. So he's gone now.
That's
As of February.
That's not a fact. That's what people say.
I say it's a fact.
Right?
But listen, he's not
something
good enough.
that's out there, but it's not a
He's
fact.
not good enough. He is not good enough. And in this short space of time, these guys have done more than he has.
Yeah, no, listen.
In terms of getting it done.
Signing Aubameyang, is a brilliant signing. Getting Mkhitaryan in as part of that deal.
Look at the pair of them. I think it's a thing. It's the pair of them.
I know there's some fans that were a bit upset about losing Giroud. But number one, he had to go as part of to complete that triangle. Batshuayi going to Dortmund, and also,
we got the better end of the deal.
He's 31.
Exactly. But we got the better end of the deal.
I was chatting to an Arsenal official just before that Swansea game, and he said to me, he goes, "Robbie, come on, if we get Aubameyang in, how many games is he going to play between now and the end of the season?"
Exactly.
You saw last week, Lacazette didn't even get on.
Yeah,
right?
I think that's down to injuries than anything.
And and he even said to me, that guy, he said, and also look at last season when we didn't even have Lacazette. He goes, how many times did Giroud complete a full 90 minutes? So, a 31-year-old player, which they would have probably been looking to move on at the end of the season anyway, I understand it.
Yeah.
So it's a great transfer window, and I've had a bit of stick in comments for saying well done to Gazidis, but I look on it like this, that you can't just slag off somebody and then slate him for not doing certain things. I mean, when he does a good job on something, just because it's the done thing to slate Gazidis, you continue. No,
you have to.
He's done a good job here. This is a brilliant bit of transfer business that even lots of other clubs around are recognising and saying, wow, we can't believe this is Arsenal. So, credit where credit's due. He's done a good job. However, we'll probably find out just how good those signings are when we play.
On Saturday.
There's a North London derby coming up.
Can I just say as well about Olivier Giroud? He's since he's been to Chelsea, they've lost 3-0 and 4-1. So
yeah, I know.
Agent Giroud. You know what I mean? So
it looks weird seeing him in a Chelsea kit, man. I mean, the other day when I saw him there, I was like,
it don't bother me.
He looks strange.
It don't bother me.
But I did like Giroud though.
No, I've got no problem with him. He frustrated the life out of me. He was never a plan A. He was a great plan B. But no, it doesn't, I can...
Do you know what the guy said to me as well, that official guy, which was a very good point? He goes, you know what, if you buy good enough players, then you shouldn't need a plan B.
Thank you very much. I said the same thing.
He goes, you need lots of plan A's.
Exactly. What did I say? I think I said it in my interview the other week. And I said to you, if we get plan A right, we don't need a plan B.
Yeah. And then even that, when you think about it, right, the other thing is there's people mortified last week that Lacazette didn't start and Aubameyang started, and they're saying, oh, what's he... I heard a lot of Arsenal fans saying, right, that's it, he's going to leave now, Lacazette's going, Why can't Lacazette fight for his place?
Exactly.
Why can't Lacazette... Because if you look at every other top club in Europe, there's not just one top player in that position. There's one or two, or sometimes even three.
Even with Man City.
Look at Man City, how many players are...
With Jesus and Aguero and stuff like that. And I remember when they played at... Old Trafford earlier on in the year and they beat them. And I think it was...
Sorry.
I think it was like the game before or something that Aguero was...
On the bench, wasn't he?
It was something like that. And it was just like... Nobody moaned at Man City because they were like, no, that's fine.
Look, they were going to get Mahrez. They were looking to go and get Mahrez in.
Because a player was injured.
Yeah. Now, Mahrez can also play in the same position as players like Sterling and people like that. And then when Sane comes back, what are you going to say? Oh, Sane's going to leave now because they bought... No, you're at a big club. I'm glad that we're behaving like a big club.
And that's the thing. We've been asking for this for so long, and now we're doing it.
Just because your name's Lacazette and we spent £50 million on you, and you've got to now fight to get in. If you come into the team in, say, a front three, and you're asked to play slightly different position, you've got to make that happen.
Exactly.
Because you want to be in the team.
And the other thing is as well, is that a lot of people are reading into the fact that he spent all his time on the bench. The simple fact is that Lacazette would have came on against Everton and Aubameyang would have probably come off with 20 minutes or so to go. if it wasn't for the fact that we had to make two
Yeah, it's the Petr Cech. It's the Petr Cech one,
and
wasn't
Monreal.
it?
But the Petr Cech was the main one that kind of
because he took Cech off. Now he had to bring on Ospina, which means that he couldn't bring on Lacazette. He had to hold on to just
and that's it. But people don't look at them things. But going back to the original point, the argument with Claude, it was stupid. It was the fact that he didn't agree with what it was. People were trying to even say to him in tweets, Claude, DT's not saying you can't protest. He's saying it's about timing. And all it's done is send everyone 10 steps back. Because when the time does come that protests happen, if it all goes tits up for the remainder of the season and everything, a lot of people are going to not bother because of those actions. And that's why I said people should have just waited. I know a lot of people that were on the protest, and I've had conversations with them and said to them, it's wrong. It was the wrong timing. That's my opinion. It doesn't change what
did they say?
And they turned around and said, that's my opinion and that's fine. And even some of them leading up to the protests that were going changed their mind at the last minute and went, you know what? No, maybe it is the wrong time and I'm going to drop out of this one. It's about timing, Robbie. That's all it is, timing. Not about protest. Protest as much as you want. If we do get another protest going and things are going wrong, I'll be at the front of that protest and I will lead that protest. And
if you're welcome.
Listen. Everyone's welcome because we're Arsenal FC. At the end of the day, we're all. When I went on that protest last year, there's a lot of people on that protest that I don't get on with. Right? People that don't agree with ArsenalFanTV and things like that, very old school and everything else. Yeah. When we went to that protest, I was face to face with so many of them that I've had arguments with online, and we was all shaking each other's hand because for that moment you joined together. You're Arsenal. There's no disagreements. I had people coming up to me that I couldn't even remember by face, and they were like, "Yeah, I spoke to you a couple of months ago, and we was having an argument on Twitter about something, blah blah blah." And they were like,
"It's probably after process."
Yeah, half of. But they were like, you know what? Now I've seen you face to face, and that now it's cool. We'll, and that's the thing. You're Arsenal. You're a family, but the family's just been so split. People say that I'm to blame for that. No, listen, I just made my feelings known when I protested. I didn't say to everyone, you have to join me. I wanted to raise my voice and give my opinion, which is why I raised the banner, because I felt that we were not being listened to as fans. So that was my way of being heard. I didn't expect Ian Wright to pick up on it. I didn't expect BT Sport to pick up on it and blow it into this humongous thing. I didn't then expect it to then snowball in terms of myself and then, my videos go viral and stuff. I went to Hull City on a midweek in the pissing down rain, to get my point across. We just won 4-0. I got abuse and all sorts. Hold on a minute.
Yeah, that's true. We won 4-0 and you took the banner out. That's not the right time either, is it? It's a great win. And I remember on that day, a lot of people saying, well, what's this guy doing? We've just won 4-0 and he's taking out a banner. And then you could also argue, people flying planes over again before a game.
Robbie.
Before.
Robbie, I had nothing to do with that. Right? And I actually said I thought the planes was...
But you put a banner out after we won 4-0.
Now, because the whole bigger picture around everything then, was not rosy. Yeah? There wasn't these new guys coming into the back, the backroom staff and everything. We weren't going out there and making transfers. A week before we played Hull, we hadn't just signed one of the best strikers in Europe. We hadn't just signed our best player to a brand new contract. And that's what I'm saying about timing. What happened 4 days after the Hull game, when everyone was going, I don't know if that was the right time to have done that against Hull. We played the next round of the FA Cup and quarterfinals against Watford and we lost at home. And everyone was going, why ain't you brought the banner out today? Where is it? You were justified for doing that the other day because you saw the bigger picture. One win against Hull City wasn't the bigger picture.
All right, now listen. One win against Everton is not the bigger picture either.
No, I know. It's just about timing.
We've got a terrible record on the road this season. Awful, rubbish on the road.
Yes, shocking.
And this week we go to one of the hardest places that you can possibly think to go to on the road.
Not
and
for
that
us.
is, hold on. Yes, for us.
No.
And that is Tottenham away.
It's Wembley.
We have not, hold on, it's still Spurs away from home, right?
Don't care.
And, last year at White Hart Lane, they battered us. It was only 2-0, but it could have been worse. They absolutely took us apart.
And then at the Emirates this season, we battered them and it could have been
We battered them at the Emirates, but they've been playing well at Wembley. They've only lost one game at Wembley. They beat Manchester United. They got a very good draw last week at Liverpool. This is going to be a real test for Arsenal, especially for our defence.
Yeah.
That's been shocking. But it's going to be a real test. But then, as you said, we go into the game with a lot of renewed hope, new signings that started off very well. Guys that look like they're going to hit the ground running because they know each other. I mean, Mkhitaryan and, of course, Aubameyang. Ozil's been playing well this season, offensively looking good. But what's your thoughts ahead of that game? Because, it's going to be tough. Harry Kane's been scoring goals for fun this season. Son up front for them looking good. Dele Alli's on better form than when the first time they came to. Christian Eriksen, good player. It's quite even, years gone by, we've gone to White Hart Lane, we've had the better team. If we're being 100% honest, they've probably got the edge at the moment because they've got a better defence. And up front, they've been scoring goals. And then a lot of the players that we've got coming in now are new players, still yet to be. So it's going to be a tough ask for us.
It'll be a tough ask, but I'm looking forward to it. And Wembley is our home. 8 wins out of 8. Why should we go there with any kind of...
It's a different game, though, isn't it? It's not an even split of fans. There's going to be about, 3,000, whatever. 3,000 Arsenal fans. That's all they've given, which I think is ridiculous, by the way. The fact that they haven't sold that stadium out every week in, week out. They could have easily have given Arsenal way more than that. Not, at least 5,000. But anyway, there'll be 3,000 Arsenal fans there.
Yeah.
And everybody else in there, and the other 87,000 or whatever it is.
I think that about 20-odd thousand of them are corporates and everything. Well, they are.
The other rest of the people there are going to be Spurs.
But what I'm saying is, at the end
majority,
of the day,
95% of the fans there
the end of the
are going to
day,
be their fans. It's not your normal
I know, but
game.
Robbie, we're talking about serious footballers here. And if you can only perform when you've got more than 3,000 fans in the stadium on your side, then this is not the right sport for you.
It's looked like that this season.
It has
because every time we've gone away from home, we've been rubbish.
Because we've been setting up tactically wrong. Teams have found it very easy to play against us away from home because they literally sit deep and say, go and break through us. We've had one style of play, which is to try and tick-attack up through the middle of you. We haven't been able to break that down. And it's become really easy. But with the new signings and with the likes of Aubameyang, it changes the dimension of the way we play in terms of stretching teams, opening up holes. That's why I think it's key. Wembley's pitch is humongous, huge. So it could potentially play into our hands with the way that we can stretch their backline. And the likes of Aubameyang can stretch their backline.
I mean, like you said, we've got nothing to fear. A lot of other teams will go there and they'll be like, oh, wow, man. Because the first time they've been there.
Yeah.
We've been there so many times recently that the actual pitch, the actual play, and the fact that we've got a good record there should not phase. And you think about it, even guys like Aubameyang, Mkhitaryan have been to Wembley. Aubameyang
Aubameyang went there this season and scored at Wembley.
Yeah, and had a goal chalked off that should have stood.
Yeah,
and always does well against Spurs as well.
Exactly, and Mkhitaryan and Aubameyang have both scored against Spurs recently. Aubameyang, I think, has got 5 goals against Spurs. He likes playing against them. I've got no doubt in my mind that he's been told this week what the North London derby means. If he didn't know, he will know now. I've no doubt that there's players, even foreign players, would have probably, like Koscielny and stuff, would have probably had a word in his ear and said to him, listen, this is a bit different this week. I think that the focus in training is a bit different.
Sure, them guys really know the truth.
I
know Jack Wilshere knows the truth.
Jack Wilshere knows, but I do think that there's guys in there.
Koscielny going on there, come on, this game.
Well, you don't know behind the scenes. You don't know behind the scenes. You don't know.
That
maybe Mustafi. He looks like that type of guy. He don't show it on the pitch when he slides all over the place. But he does look like one of those guys that will pull you to one side and say to you, listen, and I think that there's a few players in that team that can say to him, look, this is a little bit different. And above anything, there's one person that should be able to tell him what this game really means, and that's the manager. He's been here for 21 years. He knows what it means now. He should know what it means just as much as us. May not feel it as much as us, being born and raised on it, but he should certainly know.
There's one guy who definitely knows. We spoke to him before the last North London derby, and he said, this is the game I'm looking forward to. I can't wait.
Jack Wilshere.
With Jack Wilshere. Now, is Jack Wilshere going to start in this game?
Should do. 100%.
Now that Mkhitaryan's come in, right, it kind of gives a bit of a problem in that middle area because, Ramsey came in last week, brilliant hat-trick. You can't really leave him out now, can you?
You can do.
But I'm saying he scored.
No,
You're going to leave out a player who scored a hat trick.
Listen,
a guy also remember Ramsey at Wembley. He's got a great record of scoring goals at Wembley. He scored in the final of the cup final.
I know, but
scored
listen,
last year.
Robbie, the only reason why Wilshere was not playing last week was because he'd just gotten over the flu, right?
Yeah.
And he got on the bench. No one in their right mind would have thought Ramsey would have scored a hat trick.
But you play players on form, don't you?
Jack Wilshere's on form.
Yeah, I know that.
No.
But a guy's got a hat trick.
Listen, Aaron Ramsey's had one good game. One. Might have scored a hat trick, but had one. Jack Wilshere's had about 6 weeks of serious form.
But I'm saying.
Every single game. Even when we lost to Bournemouth, who's a standout player? Jack Wilshere.
All right, so you got... Right? So Jack Wilshere's, we know, has been brilliant this season. Mm-hmm. Ramsey will be bouncing into Wembley, a place where he's always done well at that.
I'm sorry, but I play Jack Wilshere over Aaron Ramsey.
What about leaving out Xhaka?
I don't think...
When's the last time he had a decent game?
Why... I tell you... Do you know what? Xhaka hasn't been too bad since the Liverpool game. And I think he's been... No.
Listen, are you having a laugh?
I think he's been getting a lot of unfair criticism. And if you actually watch the game, he has been the one that's sitting there while the rest all go. Right? Now, if I had to...
Did you see the game at Swansea?
Shut up a minute, yeah? And stop waffling, all right? Captain Birdseye.
How am I waffling? Swansea?
Listen, will you shut... Everyone played shit against Swansea. Don't single out one person. It's like your Ozil agenda. Right?
What Ozil agenda?
Don't get me started.
Shut
right?
up.
You know what I mean? You're all sucking him off now. He signed his new contract.
Oh, shut
Only
up.
people like me, the man that stood by him. I stood by that guy through.
So I wanted Ozil to leave, did I?
Yeah, you did, secretly.
Oh,
right, now listen, let me explain something. Right? If I had to make this... We've got a selection dilemma for the first time in a long time, and it's something that we've asked for as fans. And it's nice. For the first time, I'm predicting a 1 to 11, and I don't know.
You got blinkers
Normally, I can sit there and go, in goal, in defence, in midfield, up front. But no, but listen to me first, yeah? I'm not sure whether Ramsey and Wilshere will work together. I'm not sure of that formation yet, okay? Wilshere, I would put in ahead of Xhaka, but then I am thinking... Would that work? Because where Aaron Ramsey goes so much, you know he likes to go, right? You know that Mkhitaryan and Ozil and all those players in front are not the ones that are going to be the defensive cover, right? Is Jack Wilshere going to be the one that sits in front of the back four and protects them? He's done the job with England, but this is the North London derby. So, is he disciplined enough?
Is Xhaka disciplined enough?
He does sit there.
How can you... Honestly,
No.
You're on about... Why don't me just say something a minute, yeah? You're on about me waffling. How the hell can you sit there and tell me that Xhaka's been playing well?
I said he's done all
He's
right.
been terrible.
Not every game.
Hold on.
You're saying Swansea.
The game against Swansea, right? He was extremely poor. Against Bournemouth, poor. In particular, on the road, he's been very, very poor, right? Now... One thing I know about Jack Wilshere, he'll put a tackle in.
Yeah, of course.
When's the last time you see Jack even make a proper tackle in a game?
But,
right? Jack Wilshere's going to put a tackle in. Jack Wilshere's going to know what the North London derby means. I would go with Jack Wilshere. I would go with Jack Wilshere, and I would go with Ramsey with Ozil in front of them. I think Jack Wilshere's got more mobility than Xhaka. Xhaka at the moment, the only reason why I look on him sometimes and I think, all right, maybe he's that kind of defensive-minded type of player because he's kind of a bigger guy than Jack Wilshere. But I don't...
I'm just
honestly,
not sure. I'm just not
sure. If a
sure.
player's not... Like you said, when you've got lots of players that you can select, if somebody's not playing up to scratch, you leave them out. And I think with Xhaka, maybe if he was left out, he might come back and play a bit better.
What I'm saying is very simple, right? I'm thinking what Arsene Wenger's going to go with. I don't.
No, what would you do?
No.
What would you do?
I would have Wilshere and Ramsey, but I would also still be a little bit worried because we're away from home. It's a huge pitch. Would we get exposed in the middle? Do we need to set up more defensive-minded in front of the back 3 or 4, whatever they're playing, and play counter-attack?
All right, give me your team. You're the manager now. Yeah? Right? You like to have a go at the manager and, you got this, why didn't you play that? I told you, Robbie, that he should play. Now you're in charge. Team.
I'm still debating it.
Goalkeeper?
I'm still Ospina.
Right, give me a back 4.
I don't know whether we're going to play 3 or 4.
You're the manager.
Yeah,
What
but
are you
I'm
doing?
saying, what would you go with? 3 or 4
I'm
at the
asking
back?
you. What's your go on? You're manager. You're in charge.
I'll go 4 at the back.
Yeah. Who's that?
Koscielny, Mustafi, Bellerin, Monreal.
Right. And then midfield.
Wilshere and Ramsey. With Ozil.
No.
But I'm still
No,
worried.
Xhaka.
But I'm worried. But I'm still worried. But I am still worried. I don't know whether I'm honestly
Front.
I think this game is so big. This is why I'm still debating the formation and whether
front.
it's 3 and Ozil, Mkhitaryan, Aubameyang.
Ozil. Hold on. So you got 1 player left. Oh, you got 4 at the back.
Yeah.
Goalkeeper. You've gone 3. You've gone Wilshere, Ramsey in your midfield, and then Ozil. So I presume.
Yeah.
Or was it a front 3 of it? Who's the other person in midfield?
What have I said? I can't
Right, so you've
remember,
got you got your back 4.
Gone with a back 4 and a goalkeeper,
Yeah.
so that's 5.
What are you playing? What's your formation?
Do you know what?
It's hard, isn't it?
It is hard, but I would have Ramsey and Wilshere sitting as 2 in front of and telling this is where Ramsey's got to be really disciplined. He got the licence to go against Everton. I don't think he's got as much licence to go against Spurs. I think it's a case of Wilshere and Ramsey sit in front of that back 4. Do not move, okay?
No, you can't say that to Ramsey. Do not move.
You can when the time's right.
Okay.
You go when you have to, but what we do is we build a solid foundation to begin with. The first 10 minutes are crucial. Don't go gun-ho for the first, because if you go a goal down, you make things 10 times harder. Right? So sit up and have a solid base. You look
at, so that's your 2.
Because I'm looking at the start Spurs had against Man United. Man United were on the back foot within the first 30 seconds because they conceded a goal. Don't do the same mistake. And Man United have got a better defence than us. Remember that. Sit up straight. Solid. Okay. All right? So that's what I would do. Ozil sits in front.
Yep. So it's your front 3 now.
It would be Aubameyang, Mkhitaryan, Lacazette.
Okay, so you leave out Iwobi. Why? He's played well. Past couple of games.
One game.
Past couple of games.
One game he's played well.
He was poor against Swansea. The game before that, he played very well.
No, he didn't. He played well against Crystal Palace and Everton.
Xhaka
They're the only 2 games.
So Xhaka's deserved a start in your original thing.
No. I never said he did. No. What did I turn around and say? I said I'm going with what I think Wenger.
No, you said
Wenger,
I said since the Liverpool game.
We can go back to this. I said that I think that Xhaka hasn't been as bad as some people are making out since Liverpool, and I think he's put some good performances in there. But I was comparing. Your question to me was Ramsey or Wilshere. Not Ramsey, Wilshere, Xhaka.
No, Xhaka.
No.
It was Xhaka.
No. You said, would you... Right, I'm
you
going
said
by
you
Arsene
wouldn't
Wenger's
play
mind. If Arsene Wenger...
Well, you wouldn't play Ramsey.
If Arsene Wenger has got the mindset...
go by you.
No. I'm going by what I feel Arsene's going to do. I don't think that Arsene Wenger's going to touch Xhaka. I genuinely don't think he is.
No, he probably won't.
Right? I feel...
I'll ask you. You're not Arsene Wenger, are you? I was asking you.
And I feel he's going to make the decision between Ramsey and Wilshere. Now, if I was to make that decision out of those 2, because that's my only option, I would go Wilshere.
Your name's DT, not Arsene Wenger.
No. Listen, you're not listening. Yeah, I've told you what I would go with. I would go Wilshere and Ramsey.
No, but originally you were saying
because
Xhaka.
I was going by what Arsene Wenger... Because the original question was Ramsey, Wilshere. Okay?
I'm asking you something, and then now
So I'm telling you. I'm telling you, me personally...
Now pretending to be Arsene Wenger, I mean...
Shut up, man. You know exactly what was said. If I had to make the choice between Wilshere and Ramsey, and it was only those 2, no one else, just those, then I would go with Jack Wilshere because he knows more about the North London derby. I think that he can penetrate their midfield better than Aaron Ramsey can. I think Aaron Ramsey's more penetrable in the box, whereas Jack Wilshere drives in that midfield area where it can get congested and you've got to break things up. He can cause problems at the heart of Spurs' defence.
So where are you going to play your front 3? What's that? So you've got Mkhitaryan, who plays centre forward and who plays on the left?
I would start with Lacazette on the left-hand side of it, and I would have Aubameyang up front because I feel that Aubameyang
Are you confident if he loses the ball, Lacazette, that he's the sort of guy that's going to have the discipline to get back or do that working back down the wings that I think Iwobi's done pretty well. It's a Chelsea game I was thinking of. He played well in that game. He track back. No end of times did he win the ball off of Victor Moses. He's a very tricky player going down that wing. Can you see Lacazette doing that? Can you see Lacazette carrying the ball? Lacazette, we know, is a goal scorer, goal poacher, very good in and around the box. But has he got that discipline? And is it that experiment, because it would be an experiment in a big game like this, as you said, where we're going to spend a lot of the time on the back foot?
I'm not sure it's what you make out. I was listening to Wenger's comments last week when he was asked the question about Mkhitaryan, Ozil, Lacazette, Aubameyang, and he said he has a formation there that he wants to try with all of it.
But is this the game to try that? Because we're going to be, for a lot of that game, it's away from home. We spend a lot of that game on the back foot.
I think we should we should attack them.
But you just said,
no, set up.
You don't want to be like, don't go gun ho, don't go finging off.
Oh my God, this is why you would never make it as a manager.
I wouldn't make wouldn't make it as a manager. I don't know what to do. I'm scared. I'm scared. You know what I mean? You got to go with you.
Well, first and foremost, if I was a manager, I'd have bought a fucking defensive midfielder that I wouldn't have to worry in the first place.
But you're going with what you've got.
But what I'm telling you is,
and if you did, you probably wouldn't even know where to put him in.
Listen, what I'm telling you is very, very simple. Isn't it? We set up in those first 10 minutes to just keep it simple.
Then after that, go gunno.
Then after that, start to open your wings a little bit. Start to cause them problems. Because this is the thing, Robbie. For as good as Spurs' defence has been, they're going to be worried about our attack.
Yeah, of course they will.
So send them back the other way. The best form of defence is attack. Now, I know there has to be a sense of discipline there. I'm not saying gun-ho as in like red arrows, let's just all go and leave ourselves exposed. We've got to be disciplined in attack. But I think that we shouldn't sit back too much and invite the pressure.
I just worry a bit that that's what I want to see as our front three. Right? I want to see Lacazette, Aubameyang and Mkhitaryan going at teams. That's what I want to see week in, week out. But I think for this game, and the fact that they ain't even done that yet, I'd worry about that because we're going to have to, one of the things that Spurs do very well is they get down the wings. They've got Trippier, Davis, whether it's Rose. They use the width, and Wemby's a big pitch. They use the width really, really well. And I just think you're going to need a player that's going to go with those players. And I saw Mkhitaryan was doing it pretty well last week. And Iwobi was doing it pretty well last week.
Aubameyang and Lacazette can also rotate. There's no set position with them.
And I'm a little bit worried about that. And then as well, with the fact that, I don't know if Welbeck will be fit for this game. I doubt it. He'll be fully fit. But again, you've got to have also an option on the bench. If Aubameyang maybe ain't working, then you can bring on a Lacazette. Or if you need a goal, you can maybe bring the two of them on later on and really have a go. I don't know. It would be lovely to see all three of those on at the same time, but it's going to be hard. And then we've got to stop Harry Kane now. That's the other thing. So how do we stop Harry Kane?
Do you know what it is? It's not stopping Harry Kane. It's stopping his supply. Not stopping Harry Kane. It's stop the supply. When we played at the Emirates, we stopped the supply. I've never seen Harry Kane have such a poor game in my life.
So it's about stopping
Eriksen and
Eriksen, Dele Alli, and Dembele. It's possibly be the
it's about stopping them.
You've got to stop all three of them because all three of them can.
And that's why I say about Ramsey and Wilshere to sit there as those two to begin with. Ramsey, I think Wilshere's got more discipline and he has played the role with England and stuff like that, and he was very good at it. But
I'd rather see him than Xhaka.
But he needs someone with him that's going to... If Ramsey decides to just disappear, then you're going to leave Jack Wilshere exposed. All right? If Ramsey sits there and decides it's about knowing when to go, knowing when to join the attack. Ramsey doesn't have to sit there and think, I need to join this attack every single time because we've got to score. Because we'll have Aubameyang, we'll have Mkhitaryan, we've got plenty of threat already there. Join when you need to, stay when you have to. This is why it demands a really mature, experienced performance.
There's a lot of great matchups in the game when you look across the pitch. So you've got obviously the obvious one that everyone's focusing on is Kane Aubameyang. I was getting a lot of stick off for Tottenham fans because I said that for me, Kane he's not world class yet. He's on the verge, but until he does it on world level, and he didn't do that when he was in the Euros, he was particularly poor, and that's why I've marked him slightly down off of that. But I'd say, I think Wenger said today he's possibly the best striker in Europe at the moment on current form, and you can't disagree with that. Look at the goals he's scored, 100 goals he scored now. But then we've got this guy Aubameyang now that's come in.
And he's got more goals than him.
Got more goals than him. He's got a brilliant goal scoring record. He's a serious threat. Scored before against Tottenham. And you know, if they play too much of a high line and we put a ball over the top, he can run in on it and score. Yeah. So that's going to be... What a matchup that's going to be.
In terms of, in the Premier League, Harry Kane's the better striker because he's been here the longest. But if you look at the two strikers overall, there's not a lot between them. And if you're looking at goal scoring form, Aubameyang's is better than Harry Kane's. That's the simple fact. That's not...
Another matchup that a lot of the Spurs, you know, I've been, again, going at. And I saw...
Don't even tell me Eriksen and
Ozil. Now...
I'm going. See you later. Please.
No, please, come on, you've got to... Listen.
Well, one guy's lifting a World Cup in the summer. Christian Eriksen's lifting an ice cream. Yeah? Please do not insult me by telling me there's any comparison whatsoever to Christian Eriksen and Mesut Ozil.
Listen, I'm not here to defend Christian Eriksen.
I don't care what one of the Chuckle Brothers said.
I'm not a Tottenham fan, but I'm just saying.
Listen,
it's a matchup.
I know you had your interview with the Chuckle Brother yesterday, and I don't care what he says. The moment I heard that, off. Goodbye. See you later.
You don't rate Eriksen?
No comparison.
Don't you rate him?
No, he's a decent player.
He's had a good season.
Is he better than Mesut Ozil? No.
No, he's not better than Mesut Ozil.
Mesut Ozil has got laceless boots and he still couldn't lace them. Absolutely no chance. End of conversation. Don't even need to talk about it. No. Simple. Done.
Come on, you can't just dismiss it.
I can dismiss it. There's absolutely no chance. No. Fuck Christian Eriksen. Fuck Spurs.
He scored more goals than Ozil this season, hasn't he? He's been and Eriksen has been playing well. Listen. I don't think he's a better player, but you can't just dismiss it. He's a dangerous
He's a decent player. I said he's a decent player.
Not decent.
Is he better than Mesut Ozil? Which is what the question was.
No, I said it's a matchup, and he's a very dangerous player.
There's no matchup.
Who scored the goal against United?
It's like having trump cards when you was a kid. You know, when you're going in there with one. I can't dismiss it. No, jog on. Next comparison. Who we got?
Mkhitaryan and Dele Alli.
Listen, Dele Alli needs to worry about shaving his pubes before he even turns around and says anything.
That's fake by the way.
That ain't fake. That video ain't fake.
I heard that's fake.
No, that video ain't fake at all.
I don't know. You know why didn't no newspaper take it then?
Because he's English.
Nah,
because he's a little golden boy.
No.
Why do the papers not go after Dele Alli and Harry Kane for diving?
Do you honestly think, if that was real, that the Sun, the Daily Star, the Mirror, all of those sort of tabloids would not have gone with that story? They haven't even mentioned it.
Robbie,
that's not real. He's got, in the picture, he's got no tattoos on. I'm not a Dele Alli defender, but I think it's fake. No. Honestly, I don't.
I know you've met Dele Alli, and you've got a nice picture with him.
It's got nothing to do with me and Dele Alli.
I know he's your boy, yeah?
Your boy.
You know what I mean? He's your boy.
Your boy.
But listen,
Marino's your boy. You know what
I mean? Mate. So, don't
but that. Listen, no. I honestly nothing to do with any of that. To me, I think it's got to be fake. All those newspapers would have gone with that thing. Why have none of them gone with it? Why is it only just...
Don't touch the golden boys.
Nah, that's rubbish.
Why have the papers let Dele Alli and Harry Kane get away with diving this week?
We're going to come to that diving thing. They haven't let him go.
Harry Kane should be suspended.
Hold on. There's been a massive debate on that.
Harry Kane should be suspended.
Hold on. They've not ignored...
Should be suspended.
Hold on. They've not ignored that diving story. I'm saying that they've ignored this Dele Alli thing. I personally think is fake. I know how newspapers operate. They would not have left that story alone had it not been true.
No.
Oh, God.
Dele Alli.
Listen.
You've got Ali. I just don't think you understand. He's got more pubic hair. Then you got silverware. You got Dele Alli. Can't wait to sing that on Saturday. Come on, bring it on.
Whether it's real or not, I know what your agenda is on it.
You know what I mean?
But listen, anyway, I don't care anyway, but I'm just saying I don't think it's real. But anyway, back to more serious things. The matchup between him and Mkhitaryan. Now, Mkhitaryan had a great game last week, 3 assists. He hasn't had a great season.
He's only
Dele Alli's had
3 assists behind Kevin De Bruyne.
Dele Alli's had a season.
Well, we know
that's a matchup, though.
We know where he's having a season. He'd be too busy.
But that's a matchup, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good matchup. It's a good matchup.
It's a good matchup. Whoever want to say that's a good matchup. Can we even match up any of our defenders with this? Maybe Monreal. We match Monreal up with one of them, but defensively they're miles miles better than us.
If there's, I think that Sanchez can be got at. I think there's a.
He played very well in that first game, actually.
But since then, he's been making a lot of errors. I think if you pull it on him, there's an error in him.
They could have let Alderweireld back because he came
He's
back.
The one I rate.
He came back in the game against Newport, didn't he?
I'd love Arsenal to try and get him in the summer. I think he's got a year left on his contract in the summer.
They're never they're going to.
He's got a year left. He's got a year left.
Yeah, but when we got Sol Campbell, his contract was done, innit? I mean,
I know it's done, but he's got a year left. If we go in there with some good money, you've got to remember Tottenham. They're going to be in the same situation we were with Alexis and Ozil. We got no bargaining chips anymore. They're not. They can't even turn around and go. The season hasn't finished yet, obviously, but they can't even fall back on any kind of silverware. Whereas we go, well, you did win a couple of FA Cups with us, and we are going to try and build, and you see what's going on. I do think the likes of Harry Kane and Dele Alli are going to see the first season in at White Hart Lane, and I think if by the end of next season they've still won no silverware, bye-bye, see ya.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah,
they're going to be in the same situation that we were when we moved to the Emirates.
I think Tottenham moving into that new stadium, from what I've heard, how they're looking to run it, which is very similar to how Arsenal did things.
Exactly. And they're not going to be paying the players the wages.
They're gonna have run into a lot of problems. I mean, you can pay. I did an interview with Flav, and he was saying to me that he thinks they'll offer Harry Kane 200 grand. He'll probably take that, go in there for the first season. But suppose it goes wrong in that first season, and then loads of big clubs are coming in for you,
and 200
offering
grand
you mega money to go to Real Madrid and stuff like that. How are you going to turn that down?
Well,
I don't
exactly.
care how
because Tottenham can offer 200 grand, and Real Madrid can come in a year and say we'll give you 350.
PSG can give you 400. Man City can give you more than that. Man United.
We can give you more than that.
Yeah, Man United could give him 400. You know what I mean?
So there's going to be a lot of vultures. I think the biggest, the strongest position Spurs have got with Harry Kane is the fact that they've got over 3 years left on his contract still. They tied him down to a 5-year contract. But once this season's gone and next year's gone, and that goes down to about 2 years, that's when things start getting a bit edgy, and that's when what goes on? Do they then go into another season of Harry Kane going, let me just see how this year goes before I decide to commit myself?
Or does Harry Kane's people turn around and start saying, well, we're signing a new contract, but release clauses have got to be in there. And so
there you go.
I think when they move into that new stadium,
they're going to find out just how difficult it was.
Yeah, unless you hit the ground running and you're winning things and stuff like that, it could be very...
This is the thing. This is why...
It may not be all roses as what they think, because it hasn't been for us, has it?
This is why Arsene Wenger got such a period of transition of going into the Emirates and stuff, right? Because we could fall back on a Champions League final. We could fall back on unbeaten Premier League seasons. We could fall back on, FA Cups and all that kind of stuff. What Spurs got to fall back on? Putting the pressure on. Let's touch
on the diving controversy from last weekend. What did you make of it?
Cheats.
The Harry Kane one,
banned.
dive or
should be banned.
You think that was a dive?
The first person.
It was contact, wasn't it?
The first person, right, that got done after a game. We had this conversation before. I can't remember who it actually was now. What player it was? I think it was the Everton player. And he was the first one that got pulled up. Niassi or something, yeah. And they said in their report that there was contact, but he exaggerated the contact to a point that it deceived the referee. There was a tiny little bit of contact on Harry Kane. He exaggerated the contact to deceive the referee and award a penalty. That is a ban. Under the new laws of the FA, that is a ban.
Keeper did come rushing out though.
Did he exaggerate? Yes, he did. You only have to look at the way he flew. If you get tripped over, you don't fall like that. Threw his arms out, legs up. He exaggerated everything to deceive the referee. Under the new laws of the FA, what is that? A ban. Why is he not banned? Because he's your fucking golden boy. Fuck the FA.
What about the second one? And it wouldn't be the FA, by the way, it'd be the Premier League.
Fuck them all.
But what about the second one?
Can I just say something as well? Was it Danny Mills? Not Danny Mills, not him. Who's the one that used to play for Liverpool? Does the punditry, centre midfield.
Murphy.
And Danny Murphy, that's it. He turned around and said it was a dive. Who's one of the panellists?
What do you mean? Who's one of the panellists?
One of the guys that sits and looks at these reviews when they go over and decides whether they've exaggerated and they should be banned after the incident.
I don't know. Who?
Danny Murphy. He's one of the persons that sits on the panel.
Sometimes sits on some.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So one of the people that sits on the panel has said in punditry, it's a dive.
Also, Danny Murphy, he used to play for Liverpool. So don't forget that as well.
Well, what are you trying to say? That they're all
I'm just saying that he's,
Why has no one brought this back?
The decision went against Liverpool. So
because Harry Kane is their golden boy.
What about
they don't want to upset him before the World Cup.
The second one with Van Dijk, where
again
Lamella,
he kicked him in the back of the leg.
That's a penalty.
And it is a penalty, but it was the over-exaggeration. He didn't
did
need to over-exaggerate.
Yeah. Then you know what?
In my opinion, that was
what if our players do that at the weekend? You going to cry about it? Are you going to say...
No, not after what Pochettino and that said.
If Aubameyang goes over and flies like that and we win a penalty and we win the game, would you...
I don't care after what Pochettino said. Pochettino's basically condoning diving. He's also said that Spurs don't need to win the likes of the FA Cup and stuff like that.
I can't believe what Pochettino said. That he said that it's the trickery.
It's very clear what he sends his players out to go and do.
And that to me shows me that, the Dele Alli dive was ridiculous.
Do you know what? That comment by Pochettino was possibly the best thing he's ever done. Because you're telling me that the league and the FA and the referees and stuff are going to go, want your players to dive, do you?
It's terrible, though. Because basically what he's saying
Spurs might get a Stonewall penalty on Saturday, like blatant, and the ref might go, "Ooh, do you know what? That was Harry Kane.
You've got to look on it and say to yourself, well, actually, you can't blame Harry Kane, you can't blame Dele Alli, you can't blame...
I can blame Harry Kane.
You can't blame any of those guys, because if that's what they're sent out to do, if their manager's saying to them, feel any contact at all, go down, which is basically what he's saying, use trickery. That's disgraceful, isn't it? What Pochettino's doing there. I noticed that Wenger said today, Wenger said, they asked him about it, and he said, I don't send my players out to dive. I don't like diving, although we have in the past.
We all know.
Robert Perez used to go down
we all know.
Pretty easily. But, recent times, I can't really remember any Arsenal players diving. Can you?
Do you remember the uproar over Eduardo against Celtic?
I remember that. That was a terrible dive.
I know, but what I'm saying, do you remember the uproar, the aftermath?
Yeah.
Where's that this week?
No, but you know what? Now it's become that's because it's become the norm now.
But let me ask you a question. If that was not Harry Kane and a foreigner,
it'd be a dive, according to.
And what do you think would have happened this week? There you go.
Although there has been a big debate about it, but the funniest thing I've seen in ages was that they were doing Monday Night Football on Sky, right? And they had Wayne Rooney on as a guest.
Yeah,
right. And they're showing back the Harry Kane thing, and they're showing back there, and they go, "What do you reckon then?" And he goes, "Oh no, they're not dives. How can you ask a diver?" One of the biggest divers out there who dived, the famous dive that he did when we could have gone 50 games unbeaten.
The best thing there was...
Right, and this guy, you're asking him whether, he's really going to say it's a dive, yeah?
There was a question the other week on Twitter, and it was about if you could use VAR for one incident in the past, what would you go back to? And I said, the 50th game at Old Trafford, Wayne Rooney. Because that would never have been given as a penalty. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. It was the biggest dive you've ever seen in your life.
And you're asking him to comment on whether that was a dive or not. No, like he's really gonna, so that can all be brought back up. This is what football now has come to, is that whether it's a dive or, put it this way, every time these players are getting touched, they're just...
Do you know what I hope?
Exaggerating upon exaggerating.
I actually hope that one of our players dives in the 94th minute on Saturday to get us a penalty to win the game. And then they say to Pochettino, I know it's a dive, but, it's part of the game, innit? How do you feel about that? I'd love that. What do you think Pochettino would say? Commentators there after game, unlucky, with today's game and everything else. But you know,
No, he's going to turn around and say we cheated.
we know it was a dive and everything, but of course it's part and parcel of the game. How'd you feel? Do you know what I mean? So I know there's managers out there that probably speak behind closed doors to players about maybe exaggerating things and maybe just leaving a leg or whatever. Don't publicly come out and say it. You've just made a rod for your own back.
Well, let's hope the referee...
And he seems to be doing it a lot.
I hope the referee does keep an eye on that this weekend.
I think he will.
We have given away an awful lot of penalties.
And it's another ball
And do you know what? And there's been a lot of those penalties that have gone against us. I can think of the Richarlison one at Watford and stuff like that, where players just sprint into the box. Basically, these guys, what they're doing, they've got loads and loads of pace. They're sprinting into the box and going
They get a little nudge and then they fly back.
You know, maybe a bad.
Like I said, it's Anthony Taylor, isn't it? The referee.
Oh, God, as well.
Yeah, another bald ref. You know me and bald refs. I got a thing about bald referees, man. They do my nutting. You know what I mean? It just takes me back to the days of Mike Dean. You know what I mean? And he's the biggest slaphead of them all. Can't stand that guy. Do you know what I mean? But it's just...
Are we going to win?
We can. Why not?
You confident?
Yeah, I am confident. Why shouldn't we be? We've got this week has felt like the longest week ever.
Yeah, I can't wait.
We've had so many midweek matches, and the moment we get Aubameyang and that kind of feel around everything, we got a week off. I wished we had a game on Tuesday or Wednesday because I want to see him again. I want to watch him.
It's excitement, isn't it?
He brought me excitement when I was there was one moment in that game in the first half
when he was through,
when Mesut Ozil put him through. Mesut Ozil must have looked up in front of him and went, "Oh my God, it's not Olivier Giroud running onto this. I can play this pass." Because if that was a Giroud, he would never have been able to play that pass. So Ozil's going, whoa! The ball was just, and the way that Aubameyang's only about 75, 80% fit. And he clocked over 20 miles per hour. I can't wait to see that guy when he's in full flight and he's trained. He's going to have had a nice week. I know that the players were given a day off or so at the start of the week and everything else. And I think Ozil even went back to Turkey with his missus and stuff for a little break. And I think Aubameyang, he went off somewhere because I see a picture of him on a plane. I think he might have gone back to Germany to maybe say his final goodbyes because he didn't get a chance before he left, which is customary for most players now, and maybe sort out some of his stuff for moving over here and everything. But they've had a nice rest. They've had a nice time to, recuperate a bit. And Aubameyang's had more chance to train with these players this week, get maybe a bit of a better understanding. And I think Aubameyang's one of these players. It's very simple. Put the ball in space and let him go.
It's going to be a great game. I'm really looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it.
What sort of reception we're going to get there.
Oh, my God almighty.
I wonder I'm actually thinking, will it be easier to police down there than it is at White Hart Lane? Because we all know the problems at White Hart Lane. We all know the fact that,
you've got to walk 2.5 miles on Tottenham High Road before you even get there.
It's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. Put it this way, especially for somebody like me, where everybody knows who I am. But it is an absolute nightmare. But maybe
this way,
Wembley's.
I don't think that we're going to be walking up Wembley Way and having nice photos taken and doing what we normally do in the cup final. I don't think there's going to be many Spurs fans walking up Wembley Way going, DT, let me have a photo, yeah! Like when we go to Wembley we normally get halfway up the hill bit on Wembley Way. We stop, we have some filming, we get a nice crowd watch. There's going to be none of that this year, pull it that way. I don't think that we're going to be walking around with our colours on or anything like that, and it's just but there's only so much we can do unless I meet a special effects guy in the next day or so that can change. You see these these players that have done videos where they make themselves look like 70, 80 years old and stuff and changed it. Unless I get someone that can do that to me and I can just mingle in, I'm not going to get away with nothing.
I'm going to be interesting to see
how they police it.
How they police it.
What
the security is like. Because
I spoke to a few Chelsea fans and a few West Ham fans that are mates of mine that have been there already this season. And they said that the police have found it hard. They found it really difficult. Now they pen us in.
Is it harder than White Hart Lane?
Yeah, because it's bigger. It's bigger because what you've got to remember is that there's one train station at Spurs. Arsenal fans all get off at that one train station. No Arsenal fans drive to White Hart Lane because there's nowhere to really park anyway, right? So the vast majority go by train. They get off at Seven Sisters and you've got a 2.5 mile walk. they're coming out of streets and all sorts for 2.5 miles. It's just mayhem. And then with Wembley, the nearest station is Wembley Park. How are they going to separate the Arsenal and Tottenham fans all joining together? Because what you've got to remember, because this is Wembley, there's a lot of Tottenham fans that are having to travel to this game. They're not living around the corner or anything else. So you've got Tottenham fans on the train, Arsenal fans on the train. You then got that walkway.
It's the same at White Hart Lane.
I know it's that
there ain't no Tottenham fans who live in Tottenham anyway, hardly.
Well, yeah, there you go. But it's not as going to be...
Coming off the train
and a bigger crowd. There's going to be... Where there's 35,000 Tottenham fans at White Hart Lane, there's going to be 60+ thousand of them at Wembley, you know, in comparison to our 3,000. So it's like, what do? I'm going in on the train. I can't wait. Let it happen. If you want to punch me, go for it.
Yeah, speak for yourself, mate.
Listen, at the end of the day,
yourself.
At the end of the day, right? And this is the thing.
Speak for yourself.
This is the thing, yeah. I've got mates of mine that are
come in peace.
Hey, look at him. Look, I've got mates of mine that are Tottenham, hardcore Tottenham fans and everything else. And like, we don't speak to each other in the week leading up to games. We've said the odd things this week. We've texted each other and had a laugh and a joke and everything else. But above all, we understand the rivalry and we understand.
They change though. Even guys that you know.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Everyone changes.
It's like they're like werewolves.
I can guarantee.
It's like, or like vampires. Like it goes dark, and a guy that you know who's a Tottenham fan, he's normally all right, and you have a bit of banter and that. You see him at the game, and you go, you can't.
I know that if we're at the game and there's Tottenham fans all confronting us doing their pavement dancing like a lot of them do, right? I know that in the mix of all that could be one of my mates, and I could look at him and he'd be like, "You cunt, you're fucking dead!" And then an hour after the game, we're on the phone having a laugh and a joke about everything, and it's just like, but yeah, it is
an intense rivalry no other.
I think it's got more intense over the years.
Well, they got better. And I think that's what's made the rivalry even more intense. There's more to lose on this game.
I also think
we always went there a bit cocky, innit? Like,
I know.
Easy work.
I also think
easy work no more.
I also think with social media as well, that's brought an element to it as well. The fact that I've got a big platform and I can just rip the piss out of them probably doesn't help.
I wouldn't advise you to rip the piss out of them too much before the game.
No. Listen,
because we got to go there.
Let me explain something, right?
I'll see you there. Yeah?
Before the game, I'll meet you there. Before the game, right, at the Emirates, all I saw was Tottenham fans running their mouth. Yeah,
they were mad cocky before that.
Yeah. There's not so many cocky ones this time. I know Flav's still cocky, because I saw your interview with him about the bigger club than Arsenal.
I couldn't believe it.
Are you mad?
I don't know what he's talking about.
You've won 2 league titles in your history. We've won 13. 2 of those have been on your own stadium. We're as successful at White Hart Lane as you. And you're bigger. Please.
And he said they've got more history. I nearly fell over when he said that. What history?
History?
They've been around a long time. That's about it.
Robbie, if it wasn't for modern technology, Flav would not be able to watch videos of Tottenham in colour. Yeah?
Winning anything. Yeah, you're right.
The league in colour.
I don't know what he's talking about.
When was the last time they actually won a trophy? It was the League Cup, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When was the last time they won the FA Cup? Was Flav born?
Probably not.
And I know he's getting on a bit as well. That's how long ago it was. Do you know what I mean? Then you've got the other one, don't even need to name him, going into the Emirates, waving his silly little flag. You paid to go on a stadium tour. You've actually paid towards Mesut Ozil's contract. Cheers for that, mate. So you wave your pony little flag. I hope you got to visit the trophy room while you was there.
Why would a Tottenham fan want to go on an Arsenal stadium tour? I'm sorry. What's that about?
Because he wanted a few clicks and retweets.
Because we're a bigger club.
Exactly.
Because,
when Tottenham's new stadium's built, I'm not going to go there. What do I want to go on a stadium tour for? I'm not going to get nothing out of it. What am I going to look at your trophy cabinet for? There's nothing in it. What are you going to put in the trophy cabinet? Harry Kane's 100th boot. Do you know what I mean? It's what? How are you the bigger club than us? You're not. You're shadow dwellers. It's as simple as that. You say we're from fucking Woolwich. You're from fucking Middlesex. We were a North London club before Spurs. Yep. Go and learn your history. Do you know what I mean? All of you youngsters that are growing up as Spurs fans, you should all report your parents for child cruelty. Shit club. Shit club, shit fan, shit stadium, shit cunts. Can't stand any of them. Let's fucking go out there and smash them on Saturday. I fucking want this one more than anything. I hate Man United. I hate Chelsea and teams like that because they're my rivals. I hate Chelsea because I'm a human being. I mean, I hate Tottenham because I'm a human being.
I'll meet you there, yeah?
Yeah, meet me there.
Thanks for that.
Yeah! Now we get the rivalry. Let's get this rivalry for Saturday. I've been quiet all week. Now let's get it on. Let's bring it on.
North London Derby, Saturday. We're all looking forward to it. Don't forget to subscribe here. You know what? We said this thing about getting guests on. We're working on that. So we're going to start bringing a few guests
and we're not bringing no Tottenham fans on.
See you next week.